video in relation to the quadratic formula. The first video, as I've said, was more of an optional video for those who are interested in the challenge of understanding how the quadratic formula is derived from the standard quadratic equation. If you understand that, you've got a very good, solid understanding of the process of completing the square. So I do recommend that you have a look at that video and read through the notes and try and do that and see how you go with it, because it will give you a good deep understanding of where that formula comes from. What we're going to look at here is more the important information of how we use the quadratic formula, when we use it, and when maybe it's not a good idea to use it. Let's have a look then. But firstly, I said that I would have a second part joke to my previous joke about the cow with two legs that's got lean meat. So my next question to you is, what do you call a cow with no legs? Well, of course, we would call that ground beef. Anyway, let's move on. So we've got the quadratic formula. Whether we know how it's derived from completing the square or not, this is the quadratic formula. And we can use that formula to solve any quadratic equation. And it enables us to avoid needing to factorize the quadratic through any of the means that we've talked about. So the strategies for factorizing quadratics that we've talked about over the last few weeks is either difference of perfect squares, or DOPS as we call it, factorizing by the product sum rule, where we can actually find actual factors of the C and the B terms, or completing the square when we're unable to do that. And now what we've got here is the quadratic formula, which is a result of completing the square, but a formula that we can just use by substituting in the values of the coefficient of x squared, which we call a in the quadratic formula. So we put in all the values of a in the formula there. We can substitute in the values of b. So whatever the coefficient of x is, we substitute in where b is in the formula. And finally, whatever the value of c is, we substitute in the value in the formula for c. Now, one thing I did a little bit wrong with the b here, and I'm going to erase it out to make my point, is that see how I circled the plus in front of the c? I should also have circled the plus in front of the b, and I'll use the colour that corresponded to the b, which was green, because if b is a negative, or c is a negative, or for that matter a is a negative, then we need to substitute that value as a negative into the formula as well. Not just the absolute value of a, b or c, but the directed value of it as well. Now, before we get into using the formula, there's a few things that I wanted to talk about. An important aspect of this formula is this bit here, the b squared minus 4ac square rooted, the square root of all of that. Now, that's a very important expression in the terms of solving a quadratic equation. And some people actually refer to that particular string of variables, or that expression, b squared minus 4ac, as the determinant, okay? Because that predicts to us what type of solution we'll get from a quadratic equation. It doesn't solve it for us, but it will certainly give us some guidance as to the type of solution we're going to get. Now, if b squared minus 4ac actually equals 0, exactly 0, that is, the value of b squared is equal to 4ac, then there'll only be one solution to the quadratic. And that's because when we substitute in, if that becomes 0, if we substitute the value of 0 into here, we get the square root of 0, which of course is 0. So this whole quadratic formula collapses to minus b over 2a. And of course, that's just one solution, because the square root Obviously, if we have a value for a square root, we're saying there's either a positive or a negative answer to that. That's when we get two values, but of course, when we actually get 0 for the square root, there's no positive or negative, it's just one solution. So if we simply take the b value and the a and the c value and substitute it into the determinant formula, b squared minus 4ac, and that equals 0, then it predicts to us that there'll just be one solution. And then we can simply just use this simpler formula if we want, minus b over 2a, to solve it. Now, when b squared minus 4ac is greater than 0, what that means is that we're taking a square root of a number that is positive, and we're allowed to do that. Now, of course, what that means is if we're taking the square root of a positive number, that's when we know that the quadratic equation will have two solutions, because taking the square root of any number means that we can have a positive or negative answer. Now, the most important aspect is this one. This condition here, where b squared minus 4ac is less than 0. Okay, that is that when we evaluate b squared minus 4ac from the a, b and c values in the equation that we're looking at, if we end up with a negative answer for that determinant, then what it's telling us is that we're taking the square root of a negative number, whatever that number might be. Now, we've talked previously about what happens when we take the square root of a negative number. We get an error. We can't do it. In fact, the answer is indeterminate. Okay? Now, that's because when we take the square of a negative number, it's always positive. Okay? So you can never have the square root of a negative answer. So there's no real solution to that expression, square root of b squared minus 4ac, when the value of b squared minus 4ac is negative. So if you substitute the b and the a and the c terms into this simpler little expression here quickly, and you recognise that that's going to be a negative value, then without doing anything else, you know that there'll be no solution to that quadratic equation. And sometimes that's the case. So regardless of what strategy of factorising or solving the equation you want to use, whether it's product sum rule, or completing the square, or using this formula, if you do a simple check of b squared minus 4ac and find that it's negative, then you can instantly conclude that there will be no solution to that equation without having to go through the rigmarole of trying to complete the square or using some other strategy. So just to recap, for this particular video, the important thing about the determinant, or this b squared minus 4ac part of the formula, is that essentially when it is negative, there's no use trying to solve it because there'll be no real value. When it's equal to 0, there'll be only one solution, and when it's greater than 0, you know you'll have two possible solutions for x. What I'll do is just have a quick look at applying the formula to one example. And then to keep the videos reasonably short, I'll stop this video, and then if you'd like to see some further examples, there'll be another video available for you to watch. So if we take the equation 3x squared plus 8x plus 1 equals 0, using the formula, we substitute in the values of the a, the b and the c coefficients in that formula. We can see that the a will be equal to 3, the b will be equal to 8, and the c is going to be 1. So they're the values of the variables that we're going to substitute into this formula here. So doing a quick check, we can see that b squared minus 4ac is equal to 64 minus 12, if you evaluate that. And so that's a positive answer. So we know that firstly, there'll be a solution to this equation, so it's worth proceeding. And from this, because it's a positive, we know we'll have two possible solutions. So looking at the two possible solutions, if we look at the b plus the square root option, we substitute in the value for b here, which is negative 8. Now it's negative because there's a negative in front of the b, so we're always negating whatever the b value is. So negative 8. and in this scenario plus the square root of 52, because that's what b squared minus 4ac is. And then it's divided by 2 times a. Okay, so 2 times 3 is 6. So then we can simplify this fraction, minus 8 plus, well, the square root of 52 can simplify to 2 root 13. And we're assuming that we know how to simplify surds now from previous topics and lessons this year. And then that can simplify down to minus 4 plus 13 over 3, because on the top here there's a common factor of 2. So if I take, for this top numerator here, I'll write up here, if I factorise that, I've got a 2 outside the brackets, minus 4 plus root 13. So that's just explaining how this example jumped from this step to this step. Because of course, because there's a 2 out the front now, that cancels out to 1, and the 6 can cancel to 3. So that's how we jump from here to here. So our answer for one possible solution is minus 4 plus root 13 over 3. And then following a similar path of logic, we end up with our second possible solution being negative 4 minus root 13 over 3, which is our other possible solution for the square root. Alright, so that goes through how we can use the quadratic formula for one example, and how we're using the determinant just to make sure that it's worth our time and effort to go and solve the equation. As I said, always check the determinant b squared minus 4ac to make sure that it's either equal to or greater than 0. Because if it's negative, why bother proceeding? You can just say that there's no solution. Alright, see you on the next video.